All right, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Hmm.
Yeah, a story.
Okay.
We're going to unpack this video
Right.
from this YouTube channel
Okay.
called Susurros de Paz.
Mm-hmm.
And the video is called El Deseo del Último Segundo del Año Nuevo, Historia de Reflexión,
Okay.
which, for those of us who don't speak Spanish,
Right.
that's the wish of the last second of New Year's Eve, a story of reflection.
Interesting.
And you know what's really fascinating about this story?
Yeah.
Is how it uses these familiar tropes.
Uh-huh.
Like, New Year's wishes and a magical element
Yeah.
to get us thinking about
All right.
some pretty profound ideas about time and sacrifice and love.
It's amazing how storytelling can kind of sneak in some philosophical ideas.
Exactly.
You're drawn in by the narrative.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That makes me think about
Right.
this or that.
Okay, so the story takes place in this charming little village.
Okay.
It's nestled in these snowy hills, and they have this really unique New Year's Eve tradition.
Interesting.
So at the stroke of midnight,
Mm-hmm.
everyone makes a wish.
Okay.
And the idea is that if
Right.
it's truly from the heart,
Yeah.
the universe will make it happen.
Well,
So then we meet our main character,
okay.
12-year-old Clara,
Mm.
and she lives with her grandfather, Don Esteban,
Okay.
after she tragically lost her parents.
Oh, wow.
And they have this incredibly strong bond,
Okay.
but there's this shadow hanging over them.
Right.
Don Esteban's health is failing.
So like right away,
Yeah.
you have this ticking clock.
Uh-huh.
It just adds this weight
Right.
to
Huh.
everything that happens.
Yeah, and it makes you think,
Yeah.
like, if time was this finite resource,
Mm-hmm.
what would you prioritize?
Exactly.
And for Clara, it's really clear.
Yeah.
It's her grandfather's well-being.
Okay.
As New Year's Eve approaches,
Mm-hmm.
she's really torn.
Right.
The story does a great job
Yeah.
of showing her internal conflict. She's still a child,
Mm-hmm.
so of course she's thinking about,
Yeah.
toys and adventures,
Of course.
but her love for her grandfather
Right.
just overshadows everything.
It's like the story is asking us,
Yeah.
have you ever been in a situation
Right.
where you had to choose
Mm-hmm.
between something you really wanted for yourself
Yeah.
and the well-being of someone you loved?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how did you decide?
Right. What were the factors?
Yeah.
Okay, so picture this. We're brought to this bustling town square.
Hey.
It's getting close to midnight,
Hmm.
and you can feel the anticipation.
Right.
Everyone's gathered. They all share this belief in the power of the moment.
Yeah.
And then, bam, the clock strikes 12.
Yeah.
This silence descends.
Right.
Everyone makes their wishes.
Right.
And Clara, with just a heart full of love,
Yeah.
she makes her wish.
Okay.
She wishes to sacrifice her own time
Wow.
so that her grandfather can recover.
That's incredible.
And right at that moment when she makes the wish,
Yeah.
the story introduces this element of magical realism.
Okay.
This mysterious woman appears,
Hmm.
and she's shrouded in this star-woven cape.
I love that.
It's like a visual representation of the
Yeah.
universe stepping in
Right.
and acknowledging her plea.
Okay.
It's such a striking image.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the woman doesn't just grant the wish.
Right.
She presents Clara with this magical hourglass,
Interesting.
explains that Don Esteban's remaining time
See it.
is literally held within it.
Wow.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
For every grain of sand that falls,
Yeah.
a moment is taken from Clara's own life.
Oh, wow. So this is where the story really dives into
Right.
this concept of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just this noble idea.
Yeah.
It has an actual cost.
Right.
Like, it makes you think,
Hmm.
how far would you go
Yeah.
for the people you love?
Right.
What are you willing to give up?
That's a big question. Yeah. And what's amazing is Clara doesn't even hesitate.
Wow.
There's no bargaining,
Really?
no second guessing.
Wow.
Her love for Don Esteban is
Right.
just greater than any fear or doubt.
It's like what do they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Altruistic love.
Yeah.
Just this selfless concern
Right.
for someone else.
Okay, but then it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
is anything truly selfless?
That's a good point.
Or do we always gain something,
Right.
even if it's just a sense of peace or purpose?
Yeah, like a feeling of,
Hmm.
I did the right thing.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
So the woman vanishes,
Okay.
and Clara's left to deal with the consequences
Right.
of her choice.
Yeah.
And we see Don Esteban.
Hmm.
He makes this miraculous recovery.
Wow.
He's full of life, almost like a new man.
That's amazing.
And of course, Clara is overjoyed,
Yeah.
but there's this underlying awareness
Right.
of her sacrifice.
Mm.
There's this bittersweet edge to her happiness.
Yeah. It's like the story's saying,
Yeah.
even the happiest moments can
Yeah.
be complicated.
Yeah.
Life isn't always black and white.
Right.
It's more like shades of gray.
And the story shows us
Yeah.
the effects of Clara's choice.
Okay.
We see these subtle changes in her, like a maturity beyond her years and a hint of weariness.
Right.
She's literally aging faster
Wow.
because of her sacrifice.
That's heavy.
It's a powerful reminder that time is finite
Right.
and our choices have consequences.
Absolutely.
It's like the story wants us to think about time,
Mm-hmm.
not just as this physical quantity,
Yeah.
but as something that shapes our experiences, our
Yeah.
perspectives,
Uh-huh.
even our very being.
Yeah. Like time is more than just minutes and hours.
Exactly.
Like part of who we are.
Right.
And this idea of time being subjective,
Yeah.
like fluid,
Mm-hmm.
it's something philosophers and physicists have been thinking about
Right.
forever.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Einstein's theory of relativity.
Right.
Time isn't absolute.
Yeah.
It's relative to the observer.
Right.
And this story, in its own way,
Yeah.
touches on those ideas
Right.
in a way that's relatable and emotional.
Absolutely. It's like it's saying time isn't about how long we live,
Right.
but about the quality of those years.
Exactly.
The depth of what we experience in that time.
And this brings us to another interesting thing.
Okay.
This idea of wishes.
Yeah.
We often think of wishes
Mm-hmm.
as wanting material things or personal gain.
Yeah, like more money or a new car.
Yeah, exactly.
But what if the most meaningful wishes
Yeah.
are about selflessness,
Hmm.
about love and sacrifice?
That's a really interesting thought.
It makes me think, is
Yeah.
there like a hierarchy of wishes?
Hierarchy of wishes?
Yeah, like are some wishes
But
more
more-
profound?
More powerful.
Yeah, than others.
I think that's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
This story seems to say
Okay.
that wishes from love and a willingness to sacrifice
Right.
have more weight.
Yeah.
Like they change things more.
Like they have a bigger impact.
Exactly.
All right, so think about it.
Okay.
If Clara had wished for something superficial,
Right.
like a new toy,
Mm-hmm.
would it have had the same power?
Yeah. Would it have changed anything?
So,
It seems like the story's saying
yeah.
our intentions matter,
Okay.
even with magical wishes.
Yeah, so it's not just about wishing.
Right.
It's about why you're wishing.
Exactly. And this connects back to belief,
Oh, okay.
which is another big part of the story.
Right, the villagers all believe in the tradition.
They really believe
Yeah.
that if their wishes are sincere,
Uh-huh.
the universe will make them happen.
It's like their belief creates a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah,
We might not all believe that,
right.
but there's something to be said for positive thinking.
Okay.
The idea that our thoughts
Yeah.
can change
I
reality.
mean, it's like the placebo effect. People believe a treatment works,
Yeah.
and their bodies actually change.
It's amazing.
I think that's part of what makes the story so good.
Okay.
It mixes realism and fantasy.
Right.
It makes you think maybe magic is possible.
Even in a world that's often harsh.
But we have to remember,
Yeah.
the story doesn't sugarcoat sacrifice.
No, it doesn't.
It would have been easy
Right.
to make Clara's decision seem totally heroic.
Like she's a saint.
Yeah, but the story acknowledges
Mm.
even selfless acts can have a cost.
We see Clara struggling
Right.
with what she's given up.
Yeah, there's a sadness about her.
Yeah, even after her grandfather is better.
It makes her seem real.
It does.
It reminds us that love
Yeah.
can come with loss and grief.
And that makes the ending even more powerful.
Okay.
The woman comes back.
The mysterious woman.
Yes.
Wow.
And this time she gives Clara a different reward.
Okay.
An understanding of unconditional love
Hmm.
and how precious time is.
Wow.
She even refills the hourglass. So Clara gets back the time she lost.
It's like the universe is saying,
Yeah.
we see what you did. It's acknowledging her love.
And it shows
Yeah.
that sacrifice isn't always forever.
Okay, so the story ends
Yeah.
with Clara and Don Esteban walking through this snary forest.
I love that image.
It's peaceful.
It is.
Like everything is okay now.
But it still makes you think,
Yeah.
what would we do
Right.
if we had to make that choice?
Would we sacrifice for the people we love?
It's a tough question.
That's what makes a good story.
Yeah.
It stays with you.
You keep thinking about it.
Yeah, it makes you think about your value.
What's important to you?
And in a world that's all about me,
Right.
this story reminds us
Mm-hmm.
that connection matters.
That putting others first is important.
It's a good message,
It really is.
especially these days.
It's like the story showing us ourselves.
Holding up a mirror.
Yeah, and asking us,
Yeah.
how much can you love?
How much can you give?
Huh? How do we measure a good life? Is it about how long we live?
Or how we connect with others?
Or how we affect the people around us?
Those are big questions.
They are.
And the story doesn't give us easy answers.
But it makes us think
Yeah, it makes us think about what it means to be human,
about all the complicated stuff.
the good and the bad.
Exactly.
It reminds us that even with loss and hardship, we
Yeah.
can still grow
We can change.
and make the world a better place. You know, it's interesting how
Yeah.
this story seems so simple,
Right.
but it touches on these really complex ideas.
Like a modern fable almost. And one thing that stood out to me
Okay.
was the hourglass.
Oh, yeah.
Such a powerful symbol.
Mm-hmm. It represents time.
That constant flow of time.
It's a classic theme
Yeah.
in art and literature.
Think about it.
Okay.
Sundials, melting clocks.
Dolly.
Yeah, the hourglass is always there.
It's like this reminder
Right.
that our time is limited.
We're not going to live forever.
And in this story,
Yeah.
the hourglass means even more.
It's not just about time passing.
Right.
It's about the choices we make.
the sacrifice.
Every grain of sand
Yeah.
is a moment gone.
It's like a piece of ourselves we give away.
It's like the story's asking,
Mm-hmm.
what would you put in that hourglass?
What would we sacrifice?
There's something bigger than ourselves.
And that's where unconditional love comes in.
Yeah, it's not just a feeling.
Right.
It pushes us to do things
Yeah.
that don't make logical sense.
Things that go against our self-interest.
Like Clara sacrificing for her grandfather
Yeah. She just
in a
acts out of pure love.
to protect him.
But the story shows
Yeah.
that even that kind of choice has a cost.
There's a sadness there,
It is not all sunshine and roses.
which makes it feel real.
Right, because life is like that.
It's messy.
Love lost
It's
time,
all tangled up.
and that's why this story sticks with you.
It's about being human.
It reminds us
Yeah.
time is precious,
Love means sacrifice.
and our choices matter.
They affect everyone. So as we finish up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to go back to that question.
The hourglass question.
If you had that magical hourglass,
What would we wish for?
knowing what it might cost,
It makes you think.
about our values,
What's truly important?
what mark do we want to leave on the world?
It's not easy to answer.
But just asking the question can be really powerful.
It makes us look inside.
Maybe we'll discover
Yeah.
that we're capable of more.
More love, more sacrifice.
This story shows us
Okay.
that even small acts of kindness
The little choices,
can change things.
they ripple outwards,
We might not even see how.
but it makes a difference.
It's a message of hope.
To live with purpose
Cherish each moment.
and let love guide us.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this story really moved me.
I hope it stays with you
Makes you think about time and love.
and the choices we make in this crazy journey called life.
Until next time,
Keep exploring
keep questioning.
and keep diving deep.